There's a really stark contrast between the greens of the Okavango Delta and the purples and greys of the Mopani bush that surrounds it. The water level in the Okavango Delta varies throughout the year. Peak flooding is around May, June at this end of the delta. Now it's receded somewhat, so you've got a lot of green floodplains exposed. There's loads of lakes, oxbows, small rivers, streams meandering through the whole area. You can make out small islands that are sort of lighter patches that have formed and trees have grown on them. All this new green growth, plus the abundant supply of water, attracts up to 260,000 game animals from surrounding areas because the rest of Botswana is very, very dry. We actually got to the sort of wetter part of the delta by driving the 50 miles or so across Moremi. Once we got to the dock, we made a quick transfer onto this small high-powered boat, and then we were whizzed off to Hobga Island and a couple of days looking around the delta. We opted not to try the traditional Mokoro while we were here, because we felt that if we took a motorboat, we could explore more of the area and see what sort of wildlife we could spot. The delta is a truly amazing place, like nowhere else I've ever been. I could have spent quite a lot of time exploring its channels, but sadly we only had a couple of days. It was also so relaxing after being bounced about in the truck for 4 days. The water in the delta is generally quite shallow and incredibly clear. Some of the main channels are a lot deeper, and there's also quite a lot of areas where there's floating rafts of papyrus and other vegetation. The delta covers up to 15,000 square kilometres at peak flood. There's reckoned to be around 150,000 islands, the largest of which is Chief's Island, which is around 70 kilometres long and 14 kilometres wide. Red lechwe are the most populous larger mammals, but there's also elephants, hippos, crocodiles, lions, and if you're really lucky, the quite rare Sitatunga antelope. I should just clarify, I'm actually talking about this wetter part of the delta at the moment, not the whole of Moremi and the whole of the delta. Also, I thought I'd point out that technically this isn't a delta at all, because it doesn't drain into a sea. It's actually what's called an alluvial fan. There's also a large variety of water birds, like storks, herons, kingfishers, fish eagles, and lots of other birds as well. Bee eaters are quite common. If you're interested in bird life, there's photos of them on my Nature Explored website, which is easily found on the internet. Better off doing it with So this is Hobga Island,
Thank you.
where we're going to stay for a couple of nights. And we'll be in the company of 2 resident bull elephants that we basically get told that we should just kind of ignore.
Welcome to Xobega, welcome to Xobega, welcome to Xobega, enjoy your stay, welcome to Xobega, welcome to Xobega, welcome to Xobega, enjoy your stay.
Another beautiful sunset on the lake at Hobga Island.
Waiting for someone who made an offer. That bird is like a judge in the delta waiting for other birds.
If you look really hard, you can just about make out the tail of a crocodile in the bottom left corner of this clip. It's quite a big surprise to see a lion standing here just like this. I guess he was thinking about crossing the water, but a bit worried about the crocodiles. Can't blame him. Lions in Botswana do seem to have good manes. You get the golden ones like this one, and then the dark maned lions in Savuti. I think this is the only time I've been at eye level with a lion. Actually no, there was a time before in Ruaha. I think possibly because we were on a boat with no sides at all on it and so low down, this encounter did seem more kind of up close and personal.
I thought he wanted to go.
So at this point I was wondering just how close we were going to drift into this lion and whether he was going to consider using the boat as a stepping stone. But luckily he didn't and we left into it.
In the past years, so a long time ago, the hippo was one of the dangerous animals that kills more people than other animals because
A lot of these small dark-leaved trees that are overhanging the water are known as waterberries.
Yeah.
All the water reaching the delta is ultimately evaporated and transpired. It does not flow into any sea or ocean. Each year about 11 cubic kilometres, that's 2.6 cubic miles of water spread over the 6 to 15,000 square kilometre area. Basically the water is sucked up by the Kalahari Sands. Millions of years ago the Okavango flowed onwards into Lake Magadigadi before geological changes altered its course and the lake permanently dried up.
This way.
Geological faulting caused southern Botswana to rise. That effectively cut off the river's direction of flow. The water was entrapped in the Kalahari Basin. It was good to get this close to some redlet tree. We did also later on get a fleeting glimpse of some Sitatunga. but they were gone in 3 seconds. No chance of filming them.
Yeah, it's now facing us. For Statunga, it's not easy to see them very more relaxed. Immediately when you see them, it's going to land down or to one is designed like a kudu, one of the family of kudu, the Statunga. Maybe when you are
It was a shame we only had 2 days because there were a lot of different areas we could have looked at. I wish I'd taken more film footage, as what I've got doesn't really do the area justice. The wetlands of the Okavango is one area that I do believe would be worth another visit later on. There was quite a bit more to see.